Greetings, everyone. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, the candidate for the chairmanship of the Dallas County Republican Party. I just wanted to share some thoughts, perspectives, and insights about this upcoming Martin Luther King Jr. Day because Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is very near and dear to my heart. He was born and raised there in Atlanta, Georgia, in what we call the old Fourth Ward neighborhood. And in 1961, I was born and was raised in that exact same neighborhood. As a matter of fact, my elementary school, Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic School, which is located at the intersection of Boulevard and Auburn Avenue, is right across the street from his final resting spot, Ebenezer Baptist Church. And if you had a really strong leg, when we played kickball, you could kick the ball over the wall and it would end up in the backyard of his childhood home. And so growing up in that neighborhood was very impactful upon me as a young man. And I still remember the day, the night of his shooting, and the crying and the wailing of my mother and many others on our street in Kennesaw Avenue in that neighborhood because he was a son of that neighborhood, and so am I. But if there are any words of Dr. King, I think that are so important for us today, it is the words where he hoped for that one day his children would be judged by the content of their character, not by the color of their skin. And I think that's something that we need to hold on to today as we go forward, something that is everlasting. When I think about character, I think about the lesson that the Army taught me, and character is doing what is right when no one is watching. I try to inculcate that into my daughters and to my soldiers. But I just want to share some men in my life who have taught me about that character and the content of that character. When I think about my own dad, who went off and served this country in World War II, at a time when this country did not see him as equal to others, he was not worried about the color of his skin. He knew about the character of service and sacrifice and commitment to this country. When I think about my godfather, William Sticky Jackson, a Tuskegee Airman, the exact same thing. When I look back over my shoulder, there's a portrait of those very first Black members of Congress, House and Senate. The predecessor to me in the state of Florida was a Black Republican by the name of Josiah T. Walls. He was a former slave, became a member of the United States House of Representatives. Or I think about Josiah T. Walls and also Norris Wright Cooney, who was the first Black chairman of the Republican Party of Texas, who served from 1884 to 1898, a predecessor of mine also. And so I think that we have to start looking back at what character means to each and every one of us. And I just want to share with you some of the words of my mentor, philosophical mentor, Booker T. Washington, when he said, "The man who has learned to do something better than anyone else has learned to do a common thing in an uncommon manner, is the man who has a power and influence that no adverse circumstances can take from him." So I think that we have to start focusing on character, not the color of our skin. And I think the recent episode that we saw with Dr. Claudine Gay there at Harvard University shows us why we need to focus on character. When you focus on the color of the skin, you make yourself out to be a victim. You don't make yourself to be a victor. And I think that's the real message that Dr. King wants us to have. When we look in our communities all across the United States of America, we need to be focused on better education opportunities for our children so they can grow up to be victims, not victims, but rather victors. They can focus on their character and not focus on the color of their skin. The color of our skin does not hold us back. What holds us back is the chains that we put on ourselves as far as our intellectual capacity and capability. My father had an incredible quote, the old corporal, Herman West Sr. He said, "Find out what the standard is and exceed it." And I think that when you are a person of character, man, woman, you will always go out and look for that standard and you will exceed it. And those are the true words. I think that's the true lesson that Dr. King wanted us to have. Don't look at yourself because of your skin color or any other thing as an obstacle. Look at how you can better educate yourself and better develop your character so that you can be a victor and not a victim. God bless the man from the old Fourth Ward neighborhood, my neighborhood, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And happy birthday, Dr. King. Thank you.